Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing another story time. You guys asked for it. I did a poll on Twitter and I asked what story time did you want? When I was a prostitute or when I slapped my teacher? Everyone voted for when I was a prostitute. So I'm going to tell you that story on how prostitution, entered my life. Well, I didn't enter it, thank God. Let me tell you how all of this stuff happened, okay? One night, I was coming from my boyfriend's house. It's actually the boyfriend that I told you guys about in my side chick story. So I was coming from his house. It was really late at night. I decided to catch a cab because it was so late. It was literally like 1 or something in the morning. Like, it was so late. And I was around like 16 or 17. And I should not have been outside. This dude let me take the train home by myself. Like, that was a no-no. And then I had to pay for my own cab. Like, this is the reason why I cut him off in the first place. I was going home late at night by myself. And the trains were acting so stupid. So, the trains weren't running or anything like that. So I decided to take a cab home. So I go outside of Broadway Junction, and if you go outside of Broadway Junction, there's like a whole bunch of cabs. So I just randomly picked one, like literally. I randomly just was like, okay, you're gonna take me home. We're walking to his car, and he has like this little ass hoopty. So this man was around like 50 something, okay? He was a very tall man. He was very old, and he had a small car. So I'm trying to figure out, why does he have this small ass car and he's that tall and he's that old? I feel like I can remember his face. Like, it's so crazy. I feel like I've seen him more than once. Like, it's so crazy. So, damn, where is this? Oh my God. Oh, I don't. Oh my God. Oh my God, I think I took his cab a second time, now that I think about it. Like, I think I took his cab more than once. I don't know. No, I'm lying. Because the guy I'm thinking that I've seen more than once, he has a Jamaican accent. This guy that tried to, this guy that I'm talking about in my story time, he didn't have a Jamaican accent, so I just like, off for what? Anyways, we're walking to his car. It's so small, so I'm like, tells me to sit in the front. Is this nigga bugging? No, I just didn't feel comfortable with sitting in the front, and I told him that. I was like, no sir, I'd rather just sit in the back, So he was like, all right, whatever. Yo, we didn't even pull off yet, and he's already complimenting me. Now, I'm not cocky. I can take a compliment and say thank you and keep it pushing, but we didn't even take off yet, and you're complimenting me. Back then, I looked so young. So I'm trying to figure out, why is this guy complimenting me when he's like 50 years old and I'm like looking like 12? Like, I look 12 now. He's complimenting me like, you're beautiful. Now, okay, a compliment is a compliment, but the way he was saying it was so creepy and it was so annoying. Mind you, he said it more than like 3 times. So it was really creepy. Like, okay, sir, I get it. It's like, thanks. Like, I was so uncomfortable, you guys. It was like, at that moment, I should have just was like, I'm gonna take another cab. No, thank you. But I was trying not to think much of it because guys compliment me all the time. So I was just like, whatever. We pull off, and I tell him my destination, and we pull off, and he's still complimenting me. So this is like the 5th time, okay? So we didn't even get down the block yet. And he goes, would you mind helping somebody out with some money if they needed some money? I'm like, nigga, what? What are you talking about? So he's like, if somebody needed some money, like, do you mind helping them out? Helping them out doing what? I should never even gave him conversation, okay? Because he was a pervert, and he just didn't deserve my conversation, and I should not even have been in that cab, okay? So I'm like, helping them do what? I don't know what you're talking about. He goes into explaining. He basically sugarcoated prostitution, okay? He did not come out and say, oh yeah, like, you would need to do this and that for me. But he basically was just like, you're very beautiful, so people come after you and you can earn a lot of money for that. And I'm like, I was so shocked that this man just sugarcoat his question. Did this man just ask me to be his hoe in a nice way? I was so shocked, and I was scared, okay? I was a little girl and I was scared. I'm like, sir, I really don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm really not interested. He goes, how many guys have you had sex with? Is this yo, is this nigga crazy? This nigga really asked me. First, I should've, yo, don't ask me why I stayed in the cab for so long, for all of this stuff to happen. I'm about to tell you right now. I don't know why I stayed in the cab that long, but I should have jumped out. Even if the car was moving, I should have ran, okay? I should have ran for my life. But that shit was scary. So he goes, you're not interested? What do you mean you're not interested? If you don't know what I'm talking about, how are you not interested? You don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just like, whatever, sir, like, whatever. He's like, oh, well, I need a couple of dollars. I'm broke, and I want you to work for me. I didn't respond. I was just like, in my phone, in the back seat. Now, this is the part where I was terrified. He asked me that question several times, and I finally responded, and I was like, no, sir, I'm not interested. Just get me to my destination, please. He looks back at me, like, to the back of the cab, and he's like, he just stares at me like, bitch, who the fuck are you to decline me? Like, he really thought he was somebody. He turns back around and puts his hood on. Oh my god. His hood on. He has on a black hoodie. It's late at night. He puts his hood on and he locks the doors. Like the car doors. OMG. I was so scared. So I'm on my phone and I'm about to call. I don't know who I was about to call. I think I was calling my boyfriend. For some reason, don't ask me why I was calling him, because he can't do shit. I was trying to call somebody. I don't know. On my phone like this, and my phone dies. And I had a BlackBerry at that time. You know, this was when BBM was popping. So I was on my BBM all day. So by the time I was ready to go home, my phone was dead. I'm in the car with a stranger who is asking me to be his hoe, and my phone dies. And I had no weapon on me whatsoever. I didn't carry any mace. I didn't carry a knife. I didn't carry a gun. I didn't carry a sword. Like, you know, I was really dumb back then. I really was. And I really do wish I could go back and change some things so I wasn't so freaking dumb. But those situations happen for a reason. And the reason is for me to share this with you guys today. Of course, I'm sharing this for a reason so that you guys can be safe, know your safety, know that if you're a little girl, that you should not be outside late at night. And if you are, please have somebody with you. Make sure your phone is charged and have a weapon at least, like a mace or a little pocket knife. You must have that. I don't go anywhere without mine now. I'm a grown woman and I don't go anywhere without it. Locks the doors and he turns back around. So this man starts driving really fast. I'm sitting in the car scared out of my mind. Like, my phone is dead. I don't have any weapon on me. And, like, what am I going to do if he tries to attack me, you know? I mean, I don't even know what I was thinking at that moment. Like, I can't even recall what I was thinking. Like, a few minutes later, like 2 minutes later, he turns around and asks me, can he make a stop? Mind you, we're, like, not almost near my house, but we're on our way there. So I'm like, a stop? No, sir, I really just need to get to my destination. I'm running late somewhere. He's like, okay. So he's driving, and he's driving really fast at this point. I think he's mad because I declined him. So he starts driving fast. He got his hoodie on, and he's just acting freaking nuts, like a psycho. We're on our way to my house. This makes the wrong turn. And when I say the wrong turn, I mean this is not the way to my house. My house is this way. Why are you turning up this block? This ain't no shortcut. He makes this turn and I'm like, now I know that it's not a shortcut. But before I was like, maybe he's making a shortcut, you know what I mean? And he pulls over at this house or whatever. It's like a regular house, whatever. And I'm like, sir, this is not my house and I really need to get to my destination. And he's like, okay. He's sitting there for a second and he's on his phone like this. and I can see that he's texting someone. So I'm in the fucking car, sick to my stomach. I'm like, sir, can you please let me out? I'm gonna just catch another cab. I didn't say that. I said, can you please let me out? I'm just gonna go. So he's like, no, it's gonna just take 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. A man comes up to the car window and hands him this stuff. So I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, honestly, I thought it was a gun. But I'm like, what is that? Like, don't do no, I don't know what this is, but don't do it while I'm here. He hands him something and they're talking through the window. Like, they're like kind of whispering. Like, they don't want me to hear. They don't want nobody to see. And they're being real sneaky. Like, something was fishy about them. I start smelling something. So, of course, I already, by that time, I knew what marijuana smelled like. So, I can identify that they just did a drug transaction. So, I'm like, okay, this is selling drugs with me and this car. They're talking, he gets the package and they're talking for like 2 seconds after that, and the guy walks away. So I'm like, okay, like, this is not okay. When he took the drug deal, I was like, sir, you know what, I'm gonna call the cops, because of course I can smell it in the car. Like, it's so freaking strong. So I'm like, I'm gonna call the cops. I'm acting like my phone isn't dead, and I'm like, I'm gonna call the cops because honestly, you're making stops, you're making illegal stops, and I really need to get to where I'm going. So he's like, okay, we're leaving right now, we're leaving right now. There's really nothing I could do because my phone was dead. So I just kind of threatened him just so that he could hurry up. So, yeah. So he's driving crazy still, and he puts back on his hood. He's blasting music, and he, like, when I tell you he's driving crazy, he's like doing all of this. Like, come on. I know it's potholes in New York City, but he was not driving like that when he was asking me to be his hoe. We're literally almost home. Like, we're almost to my house. So I'm like, thank fucking God. Like, I need to get home. I want to get this makes another stop. Why are you stopping with me in the car? If I told you, are you serious right now? That shit got me so tight. Like, why? So let me tell you what this man did, okay? We stopped. What street is that? Hold on. Okay. So here it is. If you live in Brooklyn, kind of like near the Starlight area, you'll know about this motel near like Pennsylvania and Flatlands. You'll know about a motel called the Galaxy. I believe it's like a couple motels in that area. But basically, those motels are full of prostitutes. Like, they just go in there just to, you know, be prostitutes. Like, there's girls coming out all the time. There's girls walking up and down the back blocks looking for men to have sex with and get money. We're driving down Pennsylvania and we turn on Flatlands, which I'm like, okay, I'm near home, okay? Like, I was good. I was like, all right, like, nothing, I don't feel like anything could happen because, you know, I'm right here. I know a couple people in the area, whatever. This stops at the Galaxy. I forget which hotel it is that's exactly on Flatlands, but he stops at that motel. It's not a hotel, it's a motel. Motels are for hoes, okay? So we stop at a motel, and I'm like, why the f? I'm like, sir, you're right here. I have to get to where I'm going. You're making me late. And he's like, okay, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. He makes a call, so he makes a call, and he's like, oh, yeah, come outside, I'm outside. Hurry up, hurry up. So why this hooker ass comes outside and she hands him money? Of course, that's his hoe, prostitute, whatever. And it's like, I done seen 2 transactions at this point. I don't want to see this. I don't want to be involved with drugs, and I don't want to be involved with prostitution. It's so ratchet. She's hideous, and she looks so sloppy and dirty. And she hands him money real quick, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna hit you back real quick. I gotta make this drop. Meaning me. He has to drop me to where I'm going. So she's like, all right, hurry up. So he drives off. At the red light, we're literally like 2 minutes from my house. At the red light, he's counting a whole bunch of money. I'm guessing from this prostitute that gave him that money, whatever, I don't know. She gave him the money, so clearly she for it, but he's counting it. He's doing that, he's counting the money, so the light turns green, so he starts driving again. And he knows that I see him counting the money, like, come on. So he asks me, do you want to go over that offer again? I said, motherfucking no. I'm like, sir, please get me to my destination, okay? So he's like, okay, you got it. We finally come towards my street, and I made him stop at the corner because I really didn't want him knowing where I live. Of course, he didn't know if it was my house or not, but I just didn't want him see me going there and getting my keys out. Like, I just didn't want to see that. He made me so uncomfortable, and I was so scared, and it was literally nothing I can do. So I was so shook. Like, I was very young at this time. I was like about 17. Like, this was not okay. I really just wish that I would have handled things differently, because if I did, like, I didn't, you know, now that I'm going back over the story, I realized how much danger I was in. Like, you know, you hear stories like this on the news on how little girls get killed and, you know, how they're missing and stuff. And honestly, that really could have been me. So I'm really thankful that that was not me. And I do wish that I handled things different. And this is kind of like a story to give you guys. Like, just be careful. You know, if you're young and you're a female, you should not be traveling late at all. It's not safe, regardless of what. You're coming home from work, you need to change your hours. Just do not travel late. It's not safe. I feel like that's when all the creeps are out. Like, I've traveled home late many of times. So many things have happened to me while I was traveling home late by myself. And, you know, I didn't have a phone, I didn't have a weapon, one or the other. You know, so many things could have happened to me, but I think that I catch on to things real quick, but I handle them so stupid. You know what I mean? Like, a couple guys have followed me home, and I caught onto it, and I played it off. Like, I didn't even go in my house. Things like that really do happen, and I'm just so happy that I'm safe. And, you know, for those of you out there, just please be safe, because I would not want one of my subscribers missing. That would tear me apart. I don't want anyone missing, not just my subscribers. I don't want anyone going through that. Like, that is a terrifying moment, especially for a grown man to be questioning you. It doesn't matter what age you are. Grown men just shouldn't do certain things with females, young females. I made him drop me to a corner, and I was acting like I was walking into a house that wasn't mine, and he was actually driving off really slow. I'm guessing he was trying to figure out where I was going, and he just so happened to just start, you know, he just left. I waited a couple of minutes just to make sure the coast was clear, because crazy people like him will circle the block and try to see where you're going. So I just, you know, sat there for a little second. But when I got home, I turned my phone on, and I told my mom, and I was crying, shaking in my boots. Like, I was so terrified. I should not have seen that at 16, 17 years old. You know what I mean? I don't want to be involved with that, you know, like, and that's one of the reasons why I have a problem with taking cabs now. Like, I have a huge problem with taking cabs. I feel a little comfortable with Ubers, but because I live in the city, Ubers are a little expensive, so I don't really take those. So, but I have like one cab person that I always go to, and he always takes me to my destination safe, and I've been going to him for years. So I stick with my one cab guy, but any other cab guy I am not comfortable with at all because of that situation. And I've been through other cab situations. I've also been through a cab situation where I was in a cab and it wasn't a cab at all. So if you guys want to hear that story time, then let me know in the comments, because it's a crazy ass story. I don't trust cab drivers at all, and I'm just not okay with them. Everyone around me knows this, and they know that I don't fuck with cabs at all because of that. And I know not every cab driver is like that, but for one cab driver to be like that, imagine if there's another one. Like, and I don't want to run into him. But yeah, that was basically my story time on how I was a prostitute real quick. I feel like I wasn't literally a prostitute, but I feel like I went through the process of seeing this girl hand him the money. This guy is picking up drugs. He's like, it was crazy, okay? I just feel like I experienced something and I'll never get my innocence back. No, let me stop being dramatic. But yeah, I wasn't literally a prostitute, but this guy tried to make me a prostitute, and I declined. No offense to prostitutes. If you're a prostitute, do you, boo, but it just ain't for me, okay? Yeah, that's basically it. That's my story time. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to, I don't know, if you want to subscribe, if you want to, you know, talk, you can write me on Twitter or Snapchat. All of that information will be in the description box, and my Instagram will be in the description box. Love you guys so much. Stay safe, stay beautiful, and stay positive. Okay, you guys? You must. Love you guys. Mwah.